Hi everybody, Michelle McLuhan, astrologer and life navigator, and I'm bringing you an astrology update for the next eclipse. We're in the middle of 2 eclipses, and this is a very, very powerful time, which you might be feeling. I know I am, for sure. So let me try and unravel it for you. We had a lunar eclipse, which was a full moon 2 weeks ago in the sign of Pisces, and now the moon has moved on to actually create a new moon, which is the sun and the moon together, a solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. The energy changes according to which way the eclipses happen. So this last eclipse happened from a full moon, and now we're heading towards a new moon. So it's a waning moon cycle. A waning moon cycle is always clearing the space, letting go, so that when the new moon happens, we actually have a clear space to plant new seeds. Now that's a really big theme, this new moon. Not only is this new moon in the sign of Virgo, but it's also the second time it's been in the sign of Virgo. So a month ago, I put out a video on the new moon in Virgo. So that means that the theme of Virgo is very kind of focused on at this time. And so there's so much going on in the next few weeks, astrology-wise, and globally as well, that it's really a time to take time to actually just integrate all this energy. So let's go back to where we're at the moment. We stand in basically at kind of a threshold. We're in the eclipse window, which means between eclipses. If you're watching this before the solar eclipse, you're actually standing in an eclipse window. You could almost see it like a tunnel between the two, and you might be feeling it as well. Now, this new moon that's coming up is at what we call the anaretic degree. That means, in English, that's the end of a sign. It's at the 29th degree of Virgo. And that means that there's a kind of a feeling of urgency. There can be a feeling of frustration. It's almost like something needs to be born, but it's actually still in the birth canal and it's not coming out. That's kind of the energy of what it is. And in that canal, things might be coming up for you to clear and to let go of. That's the overall kind of picture that I'm seeing for this coming solar eclipse. Okay, so it happens on the 21st. The next day, we have the equinox, which is when the sun enters the sign of Libra. And the equinox is always the balance point, equal day and night. It's the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere and the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, we're celebrating the arrival of spring. It's the energy of emergence and the return of the light. In the northern hemisphere, the autumn equinox is a time of harvest, a time of gratitude, and a sign of descent into sort of a more inner place, because that's what winter does. It actually takes us in. So it's the in and the out, the light and the dark, and honoring both of those in our environment, on our planet, as well as inside ourselves. Now, this eclipse that we have coming up is also very connected to the South Node. The South Node and the North Node in astrology, and you can see this in our birth charts as well, the South Node relates to the past, to our ancestry, to our past lives. The North Node relates to our destiny, our purpose, what we're actually moving towards in our lives. So you can see that in a birth chart where the destiny actually is and what we may have brought in to clear and balance. So this is very definitely a karmic reset, this eclipse, not only being at the 29th degree, not only being on a waning cycle, but it's also connected to the South Node, which is bringing in possibly past life themes as well. Now, these past life themes can have to do with perfectionism, a sense of over-responsibility, those old patterns, the need to get it right. It can bring up anxieties. It can bring out old conditioned patterns that we might have not actually released and that might be blocking us. Now, I often say this, I know, but new moons and full moons, we do look at these things. Eclipses are much, much, much more powerful than normal new moons and full moons. Suffice to say, it's kind of a new moon or a full moon on steroids when we have an eclipse. when we look at the theme of Virgo, Virgo is an earth sign. It's a mutable earth sign, which mutable meaning mutable earth, meaning changeable earth. We plant, we harvest, we grow, we compost, we let go of what we don't need, we take out the weeds, we plant a new crop, we nurture it and nourish it, and the mutable soil, which is that changeable soil, allows that process of going through the seasons, of letting go, of regrowth, of rebirth. So that's what Virgo as a sign represents. It's the sign of healing. So whenever we have anything in Virgo, and we've got a lot in Virgo, we've got the sun, the moon, and Mercury, the planet of the mind, all in Virgo at the moment. Virgo is very connected with service, and it's very connected with what needs to be cleared so that something else can grow. It's the sign of discernment. This good, this isn't good. This is healthy, this isn't healthy. So all patterns related to any of these things, your health, service, your job, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. Are you creating enough sacred space to actually look after your health? Have you got good routines in place or not? What seeds can you plant in terms of actually making possibly new routines, helping you to create a structure for what you intend going forward? The theme of the South Node in connection to this new moon is asking us to look at what we might be carrying that isn't ours anymore, or that doesn't resonate, it doesn't align with us anymore. And that can be mind patterns. Mercury is there as well. It can be anxieties. It can be lack of trust. It can be, as I said, that sense of I've got to get it right, I've got to get it right, and that kind of urgency to get it right. It's basically a new moon eclipse, which is helping us to clear the clutter in our minds, to clear the clutter in our spaces. So if you're watching this before the new moon, do that. Take some time to clear. Okay? Take some time to clear your space, to get rid of what you don't need, to clear up your diet, to clear up your body, to look at your digestion. All of those things would be well served to actually have a look at this new moon. We have our retreat coming up this weekend, which falls over the eclipse and the equinox, which is basically a sacred time to reset. So I'm calling this the sacred reset because it really is a reset point. Now, not only because there's a new moon in the sign of Virgo, but this new moon is also in what we call an opposition to the planets Neptune and Saturn, which I've been talking about a lot because these two planets are moving out of one sign into another sign. And if you've watched me for a while, and if you've watched any other astrologer, we're all talking about it because they're major movements. Saturn has a journey of about 29 years or so to go around the zodiac, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. And Saturn is at the very, 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 very end of that cycle, at the last degree of Pisces. He went into Aries for a little while, he went back into Pisces, and he's coming back into Aries in February next year. So that's a big deal because that's the end of a 29-year cycle. Neptune is basically moving very close to Saturn. Now, Neptune is a very different energy, and Neptune's journey around the zodiac is 165 years. So Neptune has also gone to the final degree of Pisces and basically is ending a 165-year cycle. So we can see that there's this major theme of ending cycles and something new kind of in the wings waiting to be born, not only for ourselves personally, but also for other people and for the globe and for the planet. And Gaia herself, the earth herself, is undergoing this immense cyclical change as well. So if you're feeling the sense of unknowing, the sense of kind of what's going to happen in the future, it's quite normal because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's this new uncharted territory. I've spoken also about Uranus, which has just moved into a new sign after 84 years. I've spoken about Pluto, which has moved into Aquarius after 248 years. These are unprecedented times. When Saturn and Neptune come together in February, that's going to start an entire new cycle. So in the months leading up to that, we're releasing, we're letting go, and this is a particularly potent time to do it. This will be the final eclipse this year, okay? And the final eclipse at this degree as well. So it's the final degree of Virgo, which is opposite Pisces, the final degree of Pisces, which is where Saturn and Neptune are huddled together. So if you look at that energy, that is very different. Those are very different energies. First of all, Saturn, when it's in a combination, an opposition to the sun and the moon, Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is kind of the father figure. And Saturn wants us to succeed and grow and mature. So when Saturn's in this connection, it can feel a bit heavy emotionally. The moon represents the emotions. The sun represents the identity and how you shine your light. And Saturn can feel a bit like a cloud that comes over and says, feels a bit heavy. There can be a doubt of doubting yourself, feeling pulled between discipline and dreams and the mundanities of life, the things that you have to do, the things that you're responsible to do, and the desire to just let go and be and nurture and nourish. So there can be that pull there as well. Saturn's kind of message is be realistic, take stock, look at what you're doing, look what you have done. How have you performed over the last 29 years? How have you been over the last 2.5 years, which is Saturn's cycle in Pisces? So 2 years ago, how were you? What was going on? And what's coming up for you as a result of that? That possibly needs to be re-looked at and restructured and stock-taped. Neptune, on the other hand, which is also there, creates sensitivity. It can actually bring in guidance, spiritual guidance. It's the planet of our spiritual connection. It can also bring in fogginess and the unknown and kind of feeling uncertain. When it's in a connection to the sun is our vitality. Neptune can bring that vitality down a little bit. There can be that sense of, I just want to rest. I don't want to really do anything. I just want to go inside, reset, and create something new. That's Neptune's message. So I think the balance between these two, and we're going to be looking at them over the next few months because they're going to be walking hand in hand until they come back out into Aries. So I think the main theme of this is that we are being called on to somehow balance structure with non-structure. The form world, the world of form, with the world of the formless. To find kind of grounded ways of helping our vision to actually be manifested. To walk into our dreams, but we need the stability and the structure. A few months ago, I referred to, a portico, a pillar, which is actually sort of built to help a vine or a creeper to climb up to it towards the light. So that structure assists in the growth upwards. And I feel that that's what we have to focus on as well. It can't just be up here. There's got to be a groundedness. So I think that we sort of re-looking at the moment as Saturn goes retrograde into Pisces, we're restructuring, we're looking at our foundations and we're saying, where are my foundations a bit wobbly? What do I need to actually bolster those foundations? So I think that's a strong theme as well. We do have some really supportive energy here as well. We have a beautiful grand trine, which actually also makes a kite pattern in our skies. And the trine is usually seen as a supportive pattern. It's between Uranus, Pluto, and the new moon. At the top of the kite, we have Saturn and Neptune. So the theme that I'm talking about here is, it's almost like, you could say it's a cosmic wind beneath our wings. So even if things are feeling difficult and heavy, it's to know that if we actually go back into the sacred place, which is formed by Neptune at the top of that kite, we have the potential to break through, to innovate, to transform, as long as we are prepared to release the old stories and try something new, open up to the new. That's what I'm seeing. This kite is actually assisting us in this growth and this evolution. Now, just to be aware, just after new moon, and actually during the new moon as well, just to be aware as well, leading up to this over the next week till just after the new moon, we do have some tension. It's almost like extra tension, which is sparking change, but it might not be very comfortable. And the tensions are between Mars, which is also at the final degrees of a sign. It's at the final degrees of Libra, which is actually entering into a square with Pluto, which can stir power struggles. It can create some sparks and fire and conflict. So I think we've seen that on the world stage. We're seeing a lot of separation, a lot of division, and I think that the place that we need to take, which is what Mars is telling us in Libra, is the space in between. So not to take either side. I think if you are in the news cycle and you know what's going on the planet, you'll know that there is a huge amount of division. To conquer, one divides. And so how do we actually stand up as a people? We stand in the center. We don't take sides, and we stand in the middle of the scales. That's our center point. That's our sacred point. That's the sacred reset point. So if there's conflict arising, just remember that's where you go. You go back into the center and try as much as you can not to get too involved in the stories, because there's that side and there's that side, and you're being fed what you follow. That's the way the algorithm works. So if you follow one particular side, you're going to be fed more of that, but there's always another side. So I think it's quite important that we see that as a message as well, to stay in the middle of the scales. And then Venus, the planet of love, is also in a square to Uranus, which is the sparky planet, which is the planet that comes and actually boots us out of our comfort zones. This can mean that there might be a sort of a feeling of unsettlement. It's almost like the earth is being shaken up a little bit to unstick us and to get us out of any comfort zones that we might have been in. So all in all, very, very, very powerful energy. I think the big thing is to see this as a reset. Up until the new moon, we're letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Forgiving is a big thing, because forgiving is part of letting go. Who haven't you forgiven? Who do you still hold resentment for? Have you forgiven yourself for whatever you might or might not have done? This is the time to let go, release. As it comes into your awareness, just consciously set the intention to release. I think we have to be aware of the power of our intention. And if you intend that, then it's as good as done. So in the moment, as something comes up, release. John and I did a satsang the other night on forgiveness, and I would suggest that you have a look at that. I can put the link below to that. Be a good one to watch if there is something that's burning you in terms of something that you might not have been able to let go of, because you really want to be clear for this new cycle, as clear as possible. Just remember, anything we hold on to is blocking our channel, and we are channels of light. So whatever we're holding on to isn't actually serving us. And this is the time, peoples. This is what we are here to do. So whatever's coming up for you, even if it is an old pattern, even if it is an old frustration, even if it is an old anxiety, if you can hold a space for it, see it, and realize that it isn't serving. That's Virgo. That's the discernment. And then in that moment, you breathe, you lean back, and you let it go. You just release it. You intend it to be released. If it comes up again, you do the same. So I think that just, this is a time to let go of the pressure to be perfect. It's not necessary. Let go of old routines that don't nourish you, that don't nourish your body. Create new ones that do. Let go of roles that might be keeping you small, and focus on the sacred place, the sacred space underneath the busy mind, underneath all the mayhem out there in the world. There is that space, and it's here, it's in the heart. So that's our role, And that's what we're doing at the moment. We are clearing space to allow something beautiful and new to enter. I hope this has helped you. I have got a card because this is a big one. So I pulled a card out of the horse pack. It's the Sacred Horse Oracle, which I love. And I'm going to read it to you. If this video resonates with you, if you would please share it. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that. It helps to actually get the word out to more people. And comment. Let me know how you're feeling this eclipse energy. So the card that I pulled is Chodwa. I really don't know if I'm saying that right. I did look it up because it's a very difficult word to pronounce. But this beautiful horsey is the guardian of sacred space. Clear your temple, open to the light. Deep in a peaceful forest where only birds, drops of moisture, and the occasional rustling of tiny creatures can be heard, stands a large temple, overgrown from years of neglect. Ancient pillars, wrapped in vine, stand as sentries to the barely recognizable entrance. A brave black horse moves gracefully through the woods, carried by hooves on earth, and into the sky with wings. He is protector of the sacred shrine. A temple entrance can only be found during the quietest moments of the day, at dawn when creatures are awakening, or at dusk when all beings prepare for darkness. Faint beams of light pass through the thick undergrowth, one highlighting an empty vessel standing on a pedestal. Neither cracked nor chipped, the vessel has remained fully intact over the years. A loyal and dedicated protector, Gwashadwa understands the value of what lies inside. Knowing the temple is a sacred space, he does not allow everyone access. The temple commands respect, honor, and integrity, and he is your noble guardian. The card comes to you today because it is time for you to embody the same sense of loyalty to a sanctuary. The sacred place is not in the jungle in faraway lands, but within yourself. The space in your mind belongs only to you, where you can hear your soul speak to both your intellect and body to guide you through life. Very apt. Because it is your inner temple, you will feel the confusing influence of others over you when you allow their voices into your sacred space. When you stop guarding and protecting your inner sanctuary from external voices, you lose your way from your unique soul's path on earth. I think that this is very apt right now because I think that a lot of people are calling on other people to actually tell us what we should do. And we're losing that sense of finding our own answers from within. And I think that is a real challenge as we go forward with AI, and we need to start remembering how to do that and putting more attention into that. When you desire others' opinions about your challenges, pains, desires, plans, you can call on this horse to protect the entrance to your inner house. Consider others' perspectives if you wish, but always come home to your inner truth and knowledge. When Chodwa shows up, it's time to clear out your inner temple and trim away the overgrowth. If you have abandoned this essential part of yourself, the place where the truth lies, you are encouraged to take time in silence to release all other voices from your space. It's time to reclaim your divine right on this earthly journey. Although the temple appears hidden and neglected, it is filled with love for you. As you clear the entrance and return to your inner sanctum, beams of light will shine down, giving you access to the holiness within that connects you to the great light of the universe. Look to the white vessel outside the temple as an example of the power you possess. Once your mind is clear from external input and programming, you become the vessel. More light beams will then descend and ignite you from within, giving you access to the mysterious. The opinions and thoughts of others eventually have no significance as you are now sovereign in your sacred place again. This comes as an important reminder to create better boundaries and reclaim the inner sanctum, the unique sanctum that connects you with your inner knowing. This is your protector, traveling by land or taking flight to guard your temple. Find a quiet place for reflection. Engage with meditation. Open yourself to the wisdom of your soul. It's time for you to return to your inner shrine and reclaim your temple of higher consciousness. How beautiful is that? What practices help you clear your head and return to your inner knowing? Use them. How can you be more aware and objective about the direction and influence of others? How can you honor your space? And when, if you did you abandon your inner temple of wisdom and connection? Are you ready to heal and return home to your inner knowing? That's a very profound card for this new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. If you'd like to see how these very big, large movements by these outer planets are moving through your chart and how they're influencing you specifically, because this is a general reading, then you're welcome to reach out and set up a reading with me. I have put my details in the description below. You can get through to me via my website. So thank you very much for listening, and all the best for the new moon, all the best for the eclipse, all the best for the equinox. Stay in your center, stay in your heart. If you find yourself getting influenced by others' opinions or taken off into different directions of the mind, just bring yourself home to your sacred space.